Hey guys.
Oh, hello. Steve, are you there?
I'm optimizing.
Hello. Happy Saturday. Another Saturday sesh.
Yes, Saturday Sesh. Good morning. It's 11 o'clock in Minneapolis. It's also 11 o'clock in St. Paul.
Oh, yeah.
And we're here back every other week. And Tanner, how's it going?
Going well. It's another Saturday. Can't complain. It's 2024, our first sesh of the year. Um, and we've got some pretty exciting upcoming stuff. So really can't complain. How about you, Steve? How are you
I'm
doing?
good this morning, man. I just showered, went to yoga this morning, worked till about 8 o'clock last night, was just chomping away trying to get organized in the new year, but yeah, things are going really well. I've got a 4 pack of cultivated beverages behind me. We want to give those away on the podcast today. And tell us about the bubble hash. How are things going over there, Tanner?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as many of you know, I've been growing at home, and my plant, it's dead. No, I'm just kidding. This is a branch from a couple of seasons ago. But my plants are all dead. They all have been chopped. All went into the freezer about a week ago. Over the last couple of days, they've been washed in some really, really cold water. That water has been strained through a couple different micron size screens, and now we've got some material in the freeze dryer. So really looking forward to that finishing out, and hopefully in the next couple of days here, having some pretty fire rosin to smoke on.
I've been seeing more home growers getting their product into cartridges, and
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's like, oh my gosh, you can actually do that on your own. Uh, there's a book from the Minnesota Cannabis College that'll help you understand how you can do that. And for a guy like myself or anyone else in the Twin Cities or the greater Minnesota area, like you can get that knowledge through the Minnesota Cannabis College.
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty stoked about it. I've got here this is flower rosin, so not our bubble hash rosin, but that I pressed up that I'll be sampling out a little bit today just to see how that flavor sits in the flower rosin. I'll be honest, I'm generally more of a fan of hash rosin, but pretty stoked to see how it sits in that form and to really get some tastings before we finalize any processing.
The more cartridges or like sauce or rosin cartridges that I try, the more I realize that cannabis is really about the flavor, the terpenes, how it affects your like overall like internal feelings, than it is about getting high.
For sure.
Like,
Yeah, I've been speaking to people who are now sort of experiencing or starting to think about what legalization is going to look like in Minnesota. And the idea of not just going to someone and saying, hey, can I buy some weed? But having choices, having variety. I had someone who was confused and like, well, I don't really buy for the flavor. It's like, well, you don't have to, but you can. That's now a choice of yours. And that's one of the cool things about legalization is, it's not just the two choices of take it or leave it, but you've got into a store, you've got a variety of choices. So pretty looking forward to that.
and
But for right now,
flavor profiles, terpenes, all that cultivar type, all that plays a role in the end, the finish, how that flower finishes, and the taste that you get, whether it's inhaled or maybe drier vaporized.
yeah, absolutely. Gotta love the volcano. That's a great one.
Oh, long live the volcano!
Mm. Well, Steve, I figured I could update you a little bit on a pretty exciting interview that we had this past week that people will be able to expect in their feed coming up on Monday. Can I fill you in a little bit more about that?
Monday. Northern Lights podcast.
We got to be doing more ads like that. That's great. Wow.
I'm here
Monday,
for it.
Monday. That's so good. Well, so we got to chat with someone who's been in the Minnesota cannabis community for quite a while. Someone who's been working on that growing side, working in that legacy market, working on that breeding side, the incredible, the amazing Kat Franklin and Stefan Egan came onto our podcast. So excited to chat with them in the studio this past week. Really get to explore more about what their experiences were like in the industry. Really get to hear more about some pretty important cultivars that people probably know the name of that I don't think I can legally say on this podcast. And then, hearing more about what they expect in the future of Minnesota's cannabis industry.
Yeah, for those who don't know or maybe have only heard of Stefan Egan, he's been in the industry since 2017, I believe is what he said on the podcast. So he's coming into his 7th year. He's a former veteran, worked in government, served our country, and came out of his service and got into the cannabis industry. He's more or less in southern Minnesota, and he's on the Cannabis Advisory Council. So he's someone who's well respected both on the underground and now on the above ground as things are coming online.
Yeah.
He's a really powerful voice for the breeder, the grower, like someone with that plant touching experience, that real plant growing and breeding experience. And he's a humble warrior, right? He's a warrior in the garden.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely some pretty cool stuff that he brought into the studio, and definitely some pretty exciting stuff that they've got coming up with us on the 15th.
Yes.
Now, Steve, it's not often that I go into an interview with someone and I'm surprised by news that's announced on the podcast. That's sort of, I'll be honest, that's an experience I don't really get to have that often. I more share that with others. But when Kat announced that Logi Blom is having new cultivars come out, being dropped on the 15th at the Minnesota Cannabis College class, that's the first place you'll be able to get these brand new cultivars, I was shocked. I mean, I had to sort of contain myself a little bit in the moment and be like, wow, cool, Kat, thanks. But incredible, just thinking about some of the things that are going to be coming up at our future classes. January just being one of them.
And, not to steal any thunder away from Kat, but, you're known for breaking news in the Minnesota cannabis industry, but together we can innovate and break ground by weaving Canna Connect and the Minnesota Cannabis College together. We get that brand and product innovation on a media platform at Dabbler Depot Studios. It was really a tremendous interview. It's coming out on Monday morning. You'll be able to learn more. But on the 15th, if you want to come to one of our classes, this is the first one of the year. This is a great one to reconnect with the grower community in Minnesota. We're back at the Wilderness. And included in the ticket is a seed starter kit by Logi Blom, which means fire flower.
Yeah.
And they go into a little bit of that on the podcast as well. Now, Kat is inspired by gas station donuts, essentially, right? But you've never seen something like this before. It's got your soil, it's got your seeds, and it's in a tangible way that you can start your seeds. So, yeah, Minnesota Cannabis College, great presentations. But what this class has is some hands-on and some takeaways and some DIY that you can plug back into the Minnesota cannabis community, whether that's through events, forums, Reddits. Get your seeds at our upcoming January 15th class. They're fucking fire.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an insane class. I'm so looking forward to it. So January 15th. And Steve, those tickets have been going fast. I mean, this past week since we announced who we're partners with, I've really been diving deep and trying to make that wider. They've been going. So definitely if people want to jump, they should jump on that.
And that's a huge way of how you can support the work that Tanner and I are doing. Our goal is to sell out this class. There's only 42 tickets available for the entire class, and there's not 42 tickets left. That's how much we started with. We want to have this be really tight-knit, grow, connect, make friends, and develop relationships. But then we've got another class coming up in February, and it's going to be at Modest Brewing, which gives us twice as much room, and it's super exciting. We're going to be sharing more about that class in the next week. We'll be live at Cornell Urban Agriculture next Friday. We'll be doing some hands-on, getting our hands dirty, learning more about the Cornell urban agriculture way, or the living soil way. And that's, as you're starting the new year and you're looking, man, could I compost? What should I be doing with all this food waste? I think Cornell's going to have a really eye-opening approach to starting your soil from scratch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were sort of chatting about the class after that interview that we did a couple weeks back, and we've got some cool stuff coming up. Really looking forward to that one too. See, and it's
Yeah.
always great. Like, I feel like I say this all the time, but we make the classes that I want to go to, and I'm just so excited for the next couple of months that we've got of classes coming up. Really, some awesome educational opportunities.
So if you're someone who's following us on Instagram, listening to our podcast, it's coming out every week, every Monday in January. And, I was busy booking guests yesterday. Like, we'll see. I mean, we're going to have a lot of interviews, a lot of really great interviews from now through spring. I'm super amped about that. But if you're following the podcast and listening to it, we would love if you gave us a 5-star review and help us increase our reach so that we can be seen by more people. Transparently, our goal is to become one of the top 25% podcasts on our podcast platform, Buzzsprout, and we need your help. We need you to tell more people or leave us a review. And if you leave us a review between now and next week, about 7 days, if you're coming to our class, we'll pick a winner and you'll leave with a 4-pack of cultivated beverages. So leave us a review, come to our show, and you'll be entered into a contest to win 4 of these guys, which are fire as well, right? We all love the cultivated guava. It's a nice feel.
Oh yeah, it was cool to hear the story behind that, and there were years that went into the crafting of that, and oh boy, can you tell, it's super good.
I mean, that's a great segue. Like, I don't think people know we're also putting out the Anthony Newby interview on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. So that Monday episode that people will listen to will be like a doubly packed interview. It'll be about an hour and a half long, the whole episode. But man, it's filled with some really good content. You're going to be able to hear from Kat. You're going to be able to hear from Stefan, hear from Anthony, and just hear some general news and updates going on in the industry. It's a pretty good episode. I recommend people check it out and listen all the way to the end. We've got some pretty good surprises, so people should listen for that.
Shout out to Shayna and shout out to Marcus for being co-hosts on those interviews. I mean, really, we love sharing these stories, tying it back into classes and like hands-on experience, and that's what we're aiming to do. But we're going to be doing more than just grow classes. We've got plans to expand for Grow Your Business classes starting in March with House of Oilworks, and we're excited to just continue to put more and more information out there for the Minnesota cannabis community, the consumer and the business owner.
Yeah, people should definitely, if you have not yet, be sure to follow us on social media, follow along on our website, because we've got some big events being announced over the next couple of weeks, so be sure to listen to those.
Dope.
And Steve, I believe one of the first places that people will be able to not only get new genetics, not only get that grow kit, but also learn about some of the upcoming events that we have, learn about some partners, is going to be on that class of the 15th. So you better come to that one. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm ready to announce some exciting things on January 15th. It's going to be great.
Sweet. And people can get tickets. mncannabiscollege.org/start will bring you directly to that page. You can go get your ticket today, and it's going to be a fun class. You'll want to be there.
Yeah. Links in my bio, links in Tanner's bio. Right. Doors at 6:30 on the 15th. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You might have the day off. And we're just proud and excited. It's great to work with partners that are bringing new ideas to the table. And that's what 2024 is all about. We've got what we've got. Let's work with it.
Well, what a great way to sort of wrap up with what we started with. I see our buddy John, Minnesota Solvent List, just jumped on. Sup, John? Good to see you. We started today with talking about the bubble hash that I have been making using the process that y'all helped us to build and helped us to develop and helped to teach. So thanks again for that last class. That was an awesome one. What a way to wrap up the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've got to work with that footage a little bit. I was I was pulling all the 2023 videos off my iPad yesterday,
Mhm.
sending them over to Raven Labs because they're going to start working on a compilation video of all like the fun stuff that they got to see last year. So we can really bring Canna Connect together going into the event season, which probably, I think March will be our busiest month,
Oh,
and then we'll just grow and grow and grow.
that's awesome. We're, having the busy of March so we can get it out of the way. So 420 is going to be nice and easy and relaxing, right? That's well, Tim,
Uh,
all right. Well,
better,
I should get
yeah.
back to the lab, but I appreciate you having a sesh with me on this Saturday. We'll talk to you again very soon here.
Yeah, thanks to the Minnesota Cannabis College. Make sure you check out Canna Connect, subscribe to the Northern Lights podcast, and make sure you're following Northern Lights on Instagram. We're dropping new content on there. It feels like every day.
Mm-hmm.
Combing through the archives and just continuing to find those nuggets. Shout out to the Star Tribune.
Yeah, love it. Well, have a great rest of your Saturday, everyone. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you again on Monday on the Northern Lights podcast. See you all soon, everyone.